Haley, and welcome back for part two of your episode. Very exciting. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Our pleasure. All right, let's get to know you a little bit better. Two truths and a lie. This is where you say three things about yourself, and I see if I can tell which one is the lie.
Ooh, okay. I've lived in 5 states. I don't like ice cream. I enjoy
Wow.
and I enjoy skiing. This might be difficult or it might be easy.
Okay, so yes, we're family, but you married in, so it's not like I
That's
know you
true.
this
I
well.
know.
I'm trying to count the states that I know of. Okay. Oh gosh. Was it you don't like ice cream and you don't like skiing before I decide that's what the statements were? I don't
It
like ice cream,
was
I don't like skiing.
I lived in 5 states. I don't like ice cream. I enjoy skiing.
Oh, enjoy skiing. Okay. Okay. Gosh, this is hard, Haley.
I
This is
know.
hard. I'm trying to think back if you have ice cream at family functions. And you use the number on five, and that always is tricky. And I don't ever remember hearing you skiing. So see, I think all of these could be a lie. So this is where I have to just, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to go with the states, and the only reason I'm going with the states is because you gave me a number. So it could be four, it could be six. How'd I do?
Unfortunately, you are wrong.
Okay.
It was the I enjoy skiing. I really don't enjoy skiing, but I knew it
Okay.
would throw people off because one of the states I lived in was Colorado.
Yes.
So, yes,
Yes.
but yes, I have lived in 5 states. I was born in Illinois and then
Oh,
Wisconsin,
oh.
Colorado, Massachusetts, and Virginia.
See,
So,
I knew about Colorado, Massachusetts, and Virginia, so I wasn't quite sure about the early history. So okay, there we
yes.
go. There we go. What was the last fun thing you did?
This weekend was Labor Day weekend for us, and we went to New Jersey to visit my 92-year-old grandmother, which was
Wow.
so fun. And the weather was gorgeous, and the beach was nice. Probably not as wonderful as the beaches in California, but it was a beautiful, restful time with really good bagels.
Oh, nice. Nice, nice. And what do the kids call your grandmother?
They just call her Grandma Schwally, which is the
Okay.
last name. So it also is kind of a unique last name, so kind of fun to say,
Yes.
Schwally.
Yeah, very, very unique. Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay, that is so fun. Growing up, who did you look up to? Who did you look up to growing up?
Hmm. I looked up to my mom. She's very joyful and full of life, and I feel that all of my friends were always like, "When are we gonna go to Haley's house? Because her mom's so cool." I was that I was
Oh,
that, the daughter of the cool mom. But
oh,
she's great. She's great. And then my dad always being so having a great head on his shoulders, and I could bring anything to him and he'd listen, which
oh.
is wonderful. And then both of my siblings, even though they're younger than me, I looked up to them. My brother's only 2 years younger than me, but he is the most enthusiastic, non-judgmental person you'd ever meet. And then my sister Molly, I mean, has she has so many things. I can't even begin to say all the things I look up to her for, but she's just such a giver. She lives by us now, which is so sweet. But sometimes I'm like, oh, we can't push her too much because she'll, watch the kids all the time. But she's just a giving, wonderful person.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? And you've named everyone in your immediate family, which I think is
Exactly.
just incredible. All right, so now let's take the deep dive back into being a spicy Christian woman, becoming all that in a bag of chips. That's the
Yeah.
series we're in. What is one gift God has given you?
I would say that my family, in terms of what he's given me, that has been the most beautiful gift that he's given me. They've, I mean, me finding my husband at Holy Cross, David, and his calm,
Oh,
his
yes.
just thoughtfulness, and then my two children is just complete gifts from God.
Right. Oh,
So
that's
it's like
wonderful.
a trio gift.
Right, exactly. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's great. Why do you think that we are afraid to say yes to all that God has for us?
I think probably there's a couple parts to that. I think that no one could really understand what all God has for us because it's almost beyond comprehension. So
Hmm.
there's the aspect of maybe you can't ever attain the understanding of all that God has for us.
Right.
But also I think for me at least, it takes a lot to take a step back and to take time and to think and to contemplate. And often I don't give myself that time.
Mm.
So slowing down and taking the time just to be with your thoughts, to reflect, I think that that can also be a barrier.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the slowing down. And I feel like life is just getting faster and faster. It's hard to, it almost feels like a luxury, but it shouldn't be a luxury. Really, it's a necessity that we slow down. So I think that, part of that is that women have fear, and of course, men have fear too. We just had a series on them, but now we're talking about women and the fears that we have. We have different fears that stop us from being all that. And you mentioned in the last episode that one of them is people pleasing. What comes to mind when you see other women in particular struggle with becoming all that?
Yeah, I think the people pleasing does come up for sure. And then also the taking time for yourself. Both of those are difficult, at least from my experience of being a woman. We kind of talked in the last segment about people pleasing and why kind of women tend to maybe gravitate towards that, but also taking time for yourself. I feel that sometimes we want to do it all, have it all under control, and understanding that, first of all, we don't have it all under control. God is the one who has the control. But then, secondly, even if we did have the opportunity to have it all under control, that's just going to cause a lot of anxiety and always thinking forward to the next thing, and difficulty kind of sitting and growing your faith in God, but also growing yourself as a person.
Right.
When you have all these different hats and you're always moving, 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 how can you internally reflect about who you are as a person? I think that's been a struggle too, as kind of a young mother, finding yourself and
Hmm.
who you are when you're wearing all these different hats, and you actually don't have the luxury of stopping and taking a step back all the time,
Right,
but
right.
you really do have time, right before bed, maybe instead of reading your emails, which could be read tomorrow, or scrolling Instagram or whatever. You could even listen to a podcast that's faith based. You
Right.
can just do something to sit and contemplate and grow your faith in God and become a better person.
Those are really good suggestions. And my next question was going to be a piece of advice you would give to women to encourage them. And it sounds like that's the advice that you're
There we
giving.
go.
There you go. To
Exactly.
take some time, set it aside, be with God. Um, the thinking and your husband, who we just had on in the last series, is a big thinker, a deep
Mhm.
thinker, and I'm sure you know that and see that in him. I think it's something we need more of.
Absolutely. And especially with women, because I will say these are things that also I'm striving for because I'm not there with these things. I mean, the most recent example would be considering how David prepared for this podcast for days. Very thoughtful, very like reading scripture. Me, 20 minutes before David, I think I probably should prepare for this, okay? And also, I need to download Zoom. So these are differences, but we're all learning, we're all growing.
And
We'll
that's a
get there.
yes, and I think that is such a good point, and I think we need to give more grace and to ourselves and be more patient because I call it the ing of things. I mean, we're processing, we're growing, all the ings are present. They're not done. They continue, that we're propelling and moving forward. So those are really good suggestions. And some days obviously are better than others in terms of quiet time and all that. And we're doing what we can.
Absolutely. And everybody's amount of time and what their time looks like is different, and that's okay. You
Different.
also don't have to compare yourself to others, different
No, and
seasons.
I think as women we do that also. And I don't know if sort of cultures set us up that way to compare ourselves or not. I don't really know. And marketing and all of that. But yeah, it should be an individual kind of a thing.
Absolutely. That's a really good point.
Anything in conclusion, Haley?
I think that I need to do this too, but maybe let's take more time for contemplation and growing ourselves with God and as an individual. And it's okay not to please everyone.
Yes. Sean actually shared with me a book. Sean, my son, and a lot of you know that, some of you might not, gave me a book called The Courage to Be Disliked. And I thought that was
Ooh,
interesting.
I
So,
think I'm gonna have to read that book.
yeah. And so it kind of talks, it's the whole concept obviously is if you're so much yourself and by being yourself, I'm talking about humility. I'm not talking about arrogance, but in your humility, you are yourself. Then hopefully it doesn't really matter to you what other people think, and you're not busy comparing yourself, and you're not busy people pleasing. You're being yourself, and you're some people are not going to like you,
Yeah, yeah.
and
And
that can be
that's a really hard thing to realize, you know? It's like,
yes.
no, even if you are a people pleaser, no matter how much you please other people, it's there, some people aren't gonna like you. That's okay.
And it is okay. We can say it's okay, but the feeling of it
Mm.
doesn't feel
Oh,
okay. Like, well, and
no.
why?
But my question is, I mean, I guess I have to read this book, but would it ever feel okay for someone not, I guess like, maybe at some point you could brush it off, but I don't think I'd ever feel okay or good about someone not liking me.
No, I agree with that completely. Yeah, I think it's in our nature to want to connect and to want to be seen and
Yeah.
valued and understood and all of that. And I think when you cross paths with somebody who doesn't have that for you. Often, I think, if you're intuitive or sensitive or whatever, you feel that and you just feel like, oh, yikes. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I still got to be me. I still
Yeah.
gotta be me.
It's true. I guess it's a brush off kind of situation, but you might also it's okay to feel a little hurt.
I think that's natural and I think it's to be expected. I mean, come on. Why not? I mean, yeah, it just makes sense to me.
Yeah. That kind of brings me back to we with my students, we learn a lot about the zones of regulation and feelings and talking to them about how all feelings are okay. You're not a bad person if you become mad. You're not a bad person if you're sad. all feelings are okay. So I guess that's a whole nother topic. I just opened up a whole new topic of
Oh, but
but
it's a good one.
in
It's
conclusion, let's
it,
consider something
yeah,
else.
and listen to what you're teaching them, that all feelings are okay, and that's true. I think that's absolutely true. And when Taylor was growing up, I would tell her, and probably Sean too, it's what you do with the feelings, the action that you do with that, that could change it for a productive outcome or a destructive outcome, depending on
Yes.
what you choose.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh
Is there
man.
anything in conclusion for your part two? This has been a wonderful conversation.
Oh, thank you so much. I think that if I were to make another conclusion to the previous conclusion,
To the
we
part one
just keep
conclusion.
rolling. Yeah, we just keep rolling with conclusions, but I don't know. There's a lot to unpack. My conclusion is let's all learn together and keep, accepting other people, but not feeling like you have to please everyone.
Yes, it's back to that. And I think, yeah, that is something that we need to, the courage to be disliked. We need to.
The courage to be disliked. I love it.
Yeah. All right, Haley, thank you so much. What a joy this has been.
Thank you so much, Rochelle. I hope you have a good afternoon.